Good morning students. In this class, we will discuss about Economics Chapter 1, The Story of Village Palambur. The purpose of the story is to introduce some basic concept relating to production, and this we do through a story of Village Palambur. Students, farming is the main activity in Palambur, whereas several other activities such as small scale manufacturing, dairy, transport, etc. are carried out on a limited scale. These production activities need various types of resources. What are the types of resources? Natural resources, man-made items, human effort, money, etc. As we read through the story of Palambur, we will learn how various resources combine to produce the desired goods and services in the village. Palambur is well connected with neighboring villages and towns. Raiganj, a big village, is 3 kilometers from Palambur. An all-weather road connects the village to Raiganj and further on to the nearest small town of Shapur. Many kinds of transports are visible on this road, starting from bullock carts, tongas, bogies. Students, bogies means wooden cart drawn by buffaloes. Bogies loaded with jaggery and other commodities to motor vehicles like motorcycles, jeeps, tractors, and trucks. This village has about 450 families belonging to several different castes. The 80 upper caste families own the majority of land in the village. Their houses, some of them quite large, are made of brick with cement plastering. The SCs comprise one-third of the population and live in one corner of the village and in much smaller houses, some of which are of mud and straw. Students, you know SCs mean Dalit. Most of the houses have electric connections. Electricity powers all the tubewells in the fields and is used in various types of small business. Palambur has 2 primary schools and 1 high school. There is a primary health center run by the government and 1 private dispensary where the sick are treated. The description above shows that Palambur has fairly well developed system of roads, transport, electricity, irrigation, schools, and health centers. The story of Palambur, an imaginary village, will take us through the different types of production activities in the village. In villages across India, farming is the main production activity. The other production activities referred to as non-farm activities such as small manufacturing, transport, shopkeeping, etc. Students, Palambur is well connected with neighboring villages and towns. It has well developed system of roads, transport, electricity, irrigation, schools, and primary health centers. Moving on to understand organization of production. The aim of production is to produce the goods and services that we want. There are 4 factors of productions. What are the 4 factors of production? Land, labor, physical capital, and human capital. At first, land. The first requirement of production is land and other natural resources such as water, forest, and minerals. The second factor is labor. It is next necessary factor for production. Some production activities require highly educated workers to perform the necessary task. Other activities require workers who can do manual work. Each worker provides the labor necessary for production. The third factor is physical capital. It means the variety of inputs required at every stage during production. The following items come under it: tools, machines and buildings, raw materials and money in hand. In this, first of all, tools, machines and buildings. Tools and machines range from very simple tools such as a farmer's plough to sophisticated machines such as generators, turbines, computers, etc. Tools, machines, buildings can be used in production over many years and are called fixed capitals. Next, raw materials and money in hand. Production requires a variety of raw materials such as yarn, clay. Also, some money is always required during production to make payments and buy other necessary items. Raw materials and money in hand are known as working capital because they are used up in production. The last factor is human capital. The last but not the least is human capital, without which we cannot produce best results. In other words, we need knowledge and enterprise to be able to put together the above three requirements of productions. For example, land, labor and physical capital, and produce an output either to use ourselves or to sell in the market. Moving on to understand farming in Palambur. Students, farming is the main production activity in Palambur. 75% of the people are dependent on this activity, but the land area under cultivation is practically fixed. All land is cultivated in Palambur. During the rainy season, farmers grow jowar and bajra. They are followed by cultivation of potato between October and December. In the winter season, fields are sown with wheat. Sugarcane is also grown in a part of the land area. Because of the availability of the well-developed irrigation system in Palambur, farmers grow 3 different crops in a year. To grow more than one crop on a piece of land during the year is known as multiple cropping. Students, what do you mean by multiple cropping? To grow more than one crop on a piece of land during the year is known as multiple cropping. It is the most common way of increasing production from the same land. The other way is to use modern farming methods for higher yield. Land is very important for farming, but very few people engaged in agriculture have enough land for cultivation. For example, about 1/3 of the 450 families in Palambur are landless. Of the remaining families who own land, 240 families cultivate small plots of land less than 2 hectares in size. There are 60 families of medium and large farmers who cultivate more than 2 hectares of land. A few of the large farmers have land extending over 10 hectares or more. Labor is the next necessary factor for production. Farming requires a great deal of hard work. Small farmers, along with their families, cultivate their own fields. Medium and large farmers hire farm laborers to work on their fields. Farm laborers come either from landless families or families cultivating small plots of land. They are paid wages by the farmers for whom they work. There is heavy competition for work among the farm laborers in Palambur, so they agree to work even for lower wages. Modern farming methods require a great deal of capital. This compels small farmers to borrow money to arrange for the capital. They borrow from large farmers or the village moneylenders or the traders on a high rate of interest. So far, medium and large farmers are concerned. They have their own savings from farming. Medium and large farmers have sufficient surplus products and therefore they sell it in the market. Let us discuss about Green Revolution. The Green Revolution is a revolution introduced in the late 1960s in the field of agriculture, which adopted the modern methods of farming to increase the agricultural production. Let us discuss about features of Green Revolution. Till the mid 1960s, the seeds used in cultivation were traditionally ones with relatively low yields. Cow dung and other natural manure were used as fertilizers. But the Green Revolution in the late 1960s introduced the Indian farmers to cultivation of wheat and rice using high yielding varieties of seeds. The HYV seeds produced much greater amounts of grain as compared to the traditional seeds. HYV seeds, however, needed plenty of water and also chemical fertilizers and pesticides to produce best result. Higher yields were possible only from a combination of HYV seeds, irrigation, chemical fertilizers, pesticides, etc. Farmers of Punjab, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh were the first to try out the modern farming methods in India. The farmers in these regions set up tube wells for irrigation and made use of HYV seeds, chemical fertilizers and pesticides in farming. Some of them bought farm machineries like tractors and threshers, which made ploughing and harvesting faster. They were rewarded with high yields of wheat. In many areas, Green Revolution is associated with the loss of soil fertility due to increased use of chemical fertilizers. Also, continuous use of groundwater for tube well irrigation has reduced the water table below the ground. Environmental resources like soil fertility and groundwater are built up over many years. Once destroyed, it is very difficult to restore them. We must take care of the environment to ensure future development of agriculture. Let us discuss about non-farm activities in Palambur. Dairy, small manufacturing, shopkeeping and transport are non-farming activities. Dairy is a common activity in many families of Palambur. Milk is sold in the nearby large village known as Raiganj. Manufacturing in Palambur involves very simple production methods and are done on a small scale. They are carried out mostly at home or in the fields with the help of family labor. Shopkeeping is associated with a few people in Palambur. Shopkeepers buy various goods from wholesale markets in the cities and sell them in the village. Items sold are rice, wheat, sugar, oil, soap, etc. Transport is fast growing in Palambur. There are variety of vehicles on the road connecting Palambur to Raiganj. They carry people and goods from one place to another. Thank you.